My name is Clay Clark, and I'm the CEO of Thrive15.com. And today we are joined with Lee Cockrell, the man who used to run Disney World. Today we're going to be asking him specifically how he deals with adversity, how he plows through those difficult times we all experience, and how he has gone through those adversities and has risen all the way to the top of Disney World resorts. Financially, a lot of us just get stuck at a certain income level because we have a hard time dealing with adversity. But today's episode is going to teach us how to break through that ceiling and to start to get bigger and bigger results, thus making more and more money because we're not stuck and limited by the inability to get through adversities. Remember, at Thrive15.com, we all believe that knowledge without application is meaningless. So as you're watching today's episode, take the time to ask yourself, what do you need to do to apply these principles in your own life and business? Because if not, today's episode may just prove to be more meaningless than the male nipple. In your career, what are some of the most challenging times that you've faced? Or what are some of the most challenging, if you think back to your career, some of the most challenging moments where you're going, man, that was tough?
Well, certainly it was tough the night the waiter hit me. And I went to the hospital, and the union went on strike. The union wanted the hotel to fire me, and I caused this, and the hotel stood up for me, frankly, and that was stressful. I was in New York, or when I went to Chicago to work at the Conrad Hilton, there was a chef who was about 40 years older than me, and I was a young kid, and I was putting pressure on him. And my boss told me to stay out of the kitchen. Don't bother the chef anymore. You know, when you're young and people don't want you to be doing the right thing because you're too young.
Yeah.
That was a setback. Certainly getting fired was a setback.
How old were you when you got fired?
I was about 29. Yeah.
So you come home, you're married at that time.
Yeah.
You come home and tell your wife, hey, I got fired today, or how does that?
Yeah, came home and I said, I got fired today. Priscilla, God bless her, she didn't say I told you so. She said, good, I don't like it here. And we moved on. And she was great about that. You know, it could have gone the other way. Because under stressful situations and those kind of situations, often people ended up with divorces and all kinds of problems. But she was great. And so that was tough. I would say some stressful days were 9/11. I mean, really stressful. 9/11, handling that. Our business went down 35% overnight. We had to cut costs dramatically.
At Disney,
yeah.
35%.
It'd take $350 million out of our cost base in a few weeks.
Wow.
Because our sales dropped, people wouldn't fly. Dealing with the hurricanes, those are not so stressful for me. I managed through them pretty well, but 9,000 cast members couldn't go back to their homes after the hurricanes.
Just to give a quick clarity for people that maybe don't know, you've had, I think it was 3 hurricanes that hit Disney World. And Orlando had never really been hit by hurricanes. Then you had 3 in a row, is that right?
Yeah, we had 4 in Florida in 1 month, and 3 of them came right down Interstate 4 with less than a mile from here.
And you have thousands of guests staying there when this is happening.
75,000 guests in the hotels.
Wow.
All these cast members. But I tell you what, it was a great day. The cast members volunteered to stay overnight so they could get up, clean up the place, and get us open the next morning. It was incredible.
You had employees volunteering to work overnight?
The only thing they wanted to do is be able to bring their dog with them. They wouldn't leave their dog at home alone.
Now, a lot of people, I know myself, there's all different definitions of poor. Some people, we have one guy who works with me now who actually grew up homeless. Other people have, grown up on food stamps. Were you ever on food stamps or welfare, or did you ever grow up in that
I guess we probably could have been, but we had family who took care of us. And, I mean, when I think about it, we were pretty poor. We got married, I think we had $300 or $400 and a baby on the way. And next we slept on a couch for like a year because we didn't have enough money to buy a bedroom set. And one of those roll-out couches, which you can make into a bed at night. And it was touch and go. We didn't have a car for a couple to 3 years. We lived in New York and got rid of the car because we couldn't afford it. And if I told my grandkids this stuff, they can't believe that's possible. That you wouldn't have.
So you went from poor, though. I mean, you basically started with nothing and worked your way up to where you are today.
Priscilla owed me $100 when we got married. She'd borrowed from me. So I think I had 300 and she had 100 or something. And I had a job making $8,000 a year, and we could basically pay the rent and live on that. But there was no room for vacation or extravagant dinners or anything.
I think it's
like that.
super important for people to know that, because I think a lot of people feel like, gosh, I can never get ahead because I've grown up in poverty. And I know that all the research I've ever read shows that the majority of the world's wealthiest people started off poor and worked their way up. Was there a savings plan that you and your wife had put in? Do you have like a set percentage that you saved or anything like that, just as far as?
I don't think we ever set a percentage, but we're very frugal. I mean, we saved our money, and I early on started investing in it and got a broker who happens to be at Merrill Lynch in Oklahoma, who took care of my mother, and he did quite well by us, and we just put a little bit away at a time, and we never had any debt. We were never in credit card debt. We never had, I paid my mortgage off very quickly when I had a mortgage. We never bought something unless we could pay for it. Even today, my wife drives a 7-year-old car, and I drive a 7-year-old car, and hey. And we never outlived our income, and so we weren't able to. But there's a lot of things you can do. We went to the cheapest restaurants, the international restaurants, Lebanese restaurants where it was cheap to go to dinner, or a Mexican restaurant or something. So until things got better.